Hey, this is Carter Riley from Ring Addicts. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. That's right, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Don't have a listenership yet? That's cool. You can still make money from your podcast. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Live from the Rantoul Street studio in Beverly, Massachusetts, this is Ring Addicts, where we're wise about the ring. And here are your Ring Addicts, MattAttack and Blaise.
Yeah. What's good?
How's everybody doing?
I'm doing absolutely marvelous. And I couldn't be happier to be here today recording another show for you. First-time listeners, next-time listeners, I thank you, fans, pillar to post, turnbuckle to turnbuckle. We're wise amongst the most, and we will hit you with the truth and nothing but the truth, because that's who we are. We are the best. And we're going to start this with Drew McIntyre's quandary into the opening of Raw. What the hell the stipulation will be. Matt, if you would start and take us away about Drew McIntyre starting the show.
Yeah, he came out and he basically said, he said, I gave you that option last week. Now I want you to come out here and tell me what your stipulation is. So Ziggler came out, but only he said that he's going to keep a surprise until the pay-per-view, which that's always, a good way to drag in, audience and everything.
Of course.
So he says, I'm leaving it a surprise. And then he basically said, Drew, I know you better than you know yourself even. And he's basically like, I'm taking you way back, not just 10 years ago back, but we're going way back. And he brings out Heath Slater. And Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre were part of a group about 10 years ago called 3MB, the three-man band.
Which was an absolute beautiful touch of WWE going there, I must say. But continue.
Yes. So Heath Slater comes out, and Heath Slater basically just says that, he said, we've been so close together over the years and everything, but he's like, you promised me something and you haven't given it to me yet. And Drew wasn't even using the microphone. He just kept asking. He said, Heath, please, I don't want to do this. And Heath kept going at him. And then finally Heath slapped him and shoved him. And then once he slapped him, Drew was like, all right, fine, you got your match. And they went to commercial. They came back, and Heath Slater did something real quick, but then McIntyre came back around. Boom, Claymore. 1, 2, 3.
What I want to talk to you about this match is a deeper perspective of this. Obviously, Heath Slater, his moniker of I got kids, and how real this business is to him. It's real to me, damn it. This story was absolutely my favorite of this year. Just actually pulling from true stories of Drew McIntyre that are beyond kayfabe, and it adds a real perspective to Drew McIntyre and him not just being an out and out king and adding layers to his character. So though Heath Slater, we saw him as a jobber, but to me, this match meant more to me, just story-wise, how tied in Drew McIntyre is, and you know what I see him doing is almost like a Kofi Kingston run of just giving me amazing, fantastic matches every time he gets in the ring, and it being a story of proving his past wrong. And I just truly enjoyed this story with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. So 3MB, even them giving each other the 3MB salute in the ring was a super classy touch. You know, I just, this kayfabe story, what have you, was a great move. Pulled on some of the just historic stories as a mark, if you will. So a person who understands the wrestling business a little bit further than just, say, the casual fan. But continue, MattAttack.
So then the next segment was Bailey and Sasha come out talking, talking their shit and everything. Asuka comes out, and Asuka basically, they went back and forth for a little bit, and then Asuka thought they were thinking that she was alone, and she was like, I'm not alone. And then out came her Kabuki warrior partner, Kairi Sane, who we have not seen in like a few weeks since she had a match with Nia Jax, and they edited it out because they recorded the show before, and they edited out how Kairi Sane got injured during the match, and Nia Jax won the match. But basically, Kairi Sane got a great big gash up in her head, like right around her,
Ooh.
really bad gash on her forehead, and so they edited that out, and yeah, so Kairi Sane comes out, and Kairi Sane ends up fighting Sasha Banks in a one-on-one match, and it was a great match through and through. It was until the end where Bailey just kind of like said the hell with it and ran in and started attacking Sane, and yeah, the ref threw the match out, and
by virtue of DQ, obviously Sasha does not win that match. And
yeah.
Kairi Sane is your winner of the match. Yeah, it was a cool match. I enjoyed the pace of it. It was nice seeing Kairi Sane back. I don't have much more than that. I feel like it was a filler to the story and just getting.
To the most part, yeah, it was a filler to the most part.
Yeah, and just heading and all ideas and all focuses towards completing this Extreme Rules horror story. So before we go any further, shout out to again our listeners. Whether you gotta roll something nice up, you gotta pour yourself something nice and neat with the ice. You gotta pour yourself a beer. We cheers and salute every single one of you. If you are under the age of 16, may you have a popsicle. Pause. I know. New York is starting to call hot dogs glizzies, so shout out New York, the glizzy gang out there. Also, during the 4th of July, we have another record broken by Joe Conti, hot dog warrior, decimating the hot dog record that he once had with 75 glizzies down his esophagus.
Damn.
I also wondered because he also ate it inside an AC place that was safe. I wonder if the heat with the heat and without the heat, like AC, does anything to like a sausage sliding down your throat.
I think so. I mean, um, there's a lot of sodium inside a hot dog, and sodium.
True, MattAttack. Thank you. Of course, with the science.
Yeah, sodium can take away from your water intake, and leave you quite dehydrated.
Yes, wise words, and thank you to Bill Nye, the science guy. Shout out to him. Well, thank you again, our listeners. We are the best, and why we call ourselves the best? Because we want to, because we can, and we will remain to be the best. Like, dislike, it doesn't even matter at this point. But I beg you to ask yourself, would you rather an opinion from somebody who's bought or from somebody who wants to build their own empire from the ground up? So turnbuckle to turnbuckle, corner to corner, pillar to post, we have the most. And MattAttack, continue on to the show, and I'd lead us into the next segment, please, sir.
Okay. So then they go to the back. We go to the back where a camera is rushing to a crowd in the back. Shows Aleister Black kind of like sitting down and kind of like knocked out with a mask on.
That was such a hit. That was such a hit with him with the mask on. But yeah.
Yeah, and then Seth Rollins walks by and says, "Oh, what a shame," and then walks to the ring. Well, then KO comes out. Kevin Owens comes out and has the Kevin Owens show, and he announces that his guest is Seth Rollins. And before he even announces it, he just kind of like gets rid of all the furniture because he knew what was going to happen. So. He just got rid of all the furniture and said, "Yeah, my guest is somebody that I normally wouldn't invite to my show, but it's like we got a lot to talk about." He brings them out, and Rollins just talks a little bit about his situation with Rey Mysterio and everything, and then Rey Mysterio comes out. And Dominic comes with him, and Rey Mysterio was supposed to have a tag team match with Aleister Black against Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy, but because somebody were suspecting Rollins, but we didn't see who did it, but Rollins hurt, or somebody hurt Aleister Black, and he wasn't able to come to the ring for the match right away. So Rey Mysterio ended up having Kevin Owens as a replacement, and Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio were doing great as a tag team up there. And then Rollins got a hold of Dominic and was holding Dominic, threatening to hurt Dominic, and Ray was like, put him down, and then but then they got up to the rampway, and that's where Aleister Black came in, and then Rollins let go of Dominic, and Aleister Black he was gonna hit him, but Black remembered that if he hit him, that would have disqualified Ray and Kevin Owens, so he didn't hit him. And then back in the ring, Dominic was able to give his dad the upper hand with Buddy Murphy, and Rey Mysterio got the 619, and got the win.
Yes, and I think it was definitely a good story to being told. keeping the momentum forward. And we revel in this story actually getting a chance to be finished and told. So I'm just waiting for the end of this story personally. Um, and thank God it's coming to a head, and it only cost me $9.99 on the WWE Network. So thank you
Yeah.
for ending this story, and all it
Yeah.
cost me once again on your WWE Network $9.99.
Yeah.
Boom.
And that's right too. They're ending the story, and it's going to be, you know, the match was for whoever won it was to decide what the stipulation is for their
And
match at Extreme Rules.
an
And
eye for an eye, which they're stealing the absolute gimmick that AEW just did.
yeah,
So, uh, uh,
yeah.
WWE, you get my sigh award. You get my sigh. That's the best I can give you.
Well, I also give them the Psy award too. But I mean, Triple H, Triple H
Boring.
has responded.
Boring. Yeah, okay, thank you, Mouse. Add some injuvenation or rejuvenation. It is boring. This is
Yeah,
boring. This
no, it
is
is.
boring. This is boring. This
Yep.
is boring. And hopefully at some point soon, as I said, I paid my $9.99 for this to end.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so before we go any further, I want to do one of my favorite parts of the show, and I want to plug our show and how you can reach us. All our listeners, we thank you from the bottom of our heart that you're tuning in and listening.
Okay, you can email the podcast at ringaddictspod. That's ringaddictspod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at ringaddictspod. You can join the Facebook group, www.facebook.com/groups/ringaddicts. If you're a walkie-talkie enthusiast, you can join us on Zello. The channel name is Ring Addicts. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify. And as always, our podcast is sponsored by and brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Download it on your phone's app store today, or just go to anchor.fm to get started.
Woo! And thank you for that, Mouse. And I want to continue on with the show, the WWE product. Shout out first time listeners. Shout out next time listeners. I want to also shout out parents that allow their kids to watch wrestling for an extra 15 minutes. We want to shout them out. Want to shout out the female wrestling fans. Just thank you all listeners to Ring Addicts. Pillar to post, turnbuckle to turnbuckle, off the top rope with a senton bomb of the truth. What happens next in this show that we call WWE Raw MattAttack?
The next segment was backstage segment with Big Show and the Viking Raiders. Big Show and the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders were playing games a little bit again, but like not like they were before. But Big Show comes in and says, "I need you guys to focus and focus on this match tonight because they have a 6-man tag team match against Randy Orton, Andrade, and Angel Garza." And so Big Show's trying to get them focused and in the game and everything, and he finally gets them in the game, and they're starting to get all rowdy and everything like that. So so then the next segment was after that. Well, let's see. So I think after that was the what's her name? Ruby Riott and Billy Kay.
Word. Yes.
Ruby Riott and Billy Kay. They had a match. It was a really good match, but once again, for a second week in a row, Ruby Riott loses to one of the Iconics. This time, Billy Kay, and had a great move from Billy Kay, just like a great move from Peyton Royce last week. So both of them are 1-1 against Ruby Riott. And
just a quick question. Was the 6-man tag so bad that we're just going to skip it? Because I saw it going on, and then I was just like, fuck this. I changed the channel.
6-man tag. So I'm going to answer this, but how I'm going to answer this is as I'm going to roll out of the ring, and if you will, Mouse, give me a 10 count. And yeah, I only need about 10 seconds. So and then at the 2-second mark, I'll roll back inside the ring and continue the abuse that is Raw recap that is this week. But here we go.
Yeah, I forgot about the United States Championship thing.
It will.
So I'll do that next. The United States. So Apollo Crews is injured, and basically the WWE has come out with a new version of the United States Championship, and because Apollo Crews was injured, I guess they just decided to have one of the most longest reigning United States champions in history present the new version of the United States Championship. And he did so, and in doing so, he basically said that because he defeated Apollo Crews last week, that he should be the United States champion right now. So he is in possession of the newest version of the United States Championship, but he is not the United States champion. Apollo Crews is still officially the United States champion.
The Make America Great Again title?
Exactly. Because as soon as I saw that title, that was all I could think about. That was all I could think about as soon as I saw that.
When can I give me my count on when I can roll out of the ring and take my 10 count, please, sir?
Yeah, you can do that now.
You can do that now.
The 6-man tag match between Viking Raiders, Big Show versus Andrade, Angel Garza, Randy Orton pulls down all of these characters. The Giant, the Big Show, is an absolute dredge to the character of the show. It's going to suck, and it's going to be hurtful and harmful as a fan to what the Big Show was as a character. I'm sorry. The Big Show needs to get the fuck up out of the business. I'm rolling back inside the ring.
Yeah,
no, I totally agree.
Once, like I said before, back in 2009 or whatever it was, that Bobby Lashley defeated Big Show at December to Dismember for the ECW Championship. Back then, Big Show retired, and I was like, that's a great career. That's an awesome career. ECW champion, WCW heavyweight champion, WWF heavyweight, WWE heavyweight champion, and the undisputed heavyweight champion.
See,
There's not too many people in the business that can say that, and not only that, there's not too many heavyweight people like him that can say that. You know,
does the Big Show want to go out like, I don't know, like just on his back, like Matt Hardy went with a steel chair to the face? Like, that's not what I need to see of a Hall of Famer. I don't need to see Big Show carted out on a stretcher to end his career. Like, and then I'm supposed to go to Netflix and think that's okay as a fan? Nope. That's not good for the business in general. So, Bruce Pritchard, whatever you think you want to do, I, as a fan, do not need to see a man brutally injured to I guess, end the story amicably. And right now, Big Show is dragging all parties down, because now I'm at the point of those that can't progress the business need to get up out of the way of the business, because we're talking about the future.
Right.
So honestly, you have Seth Rollins, you have Murphy. Apparently, you're supposed to have Austin Theory. We'll see what happens. You have Aleister Black, King Corbin. You have now you have a bench Apollo, so you need him to get the hell up out of the way. You have MVP Montelis Gladius Porter. You got Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. You have your Viking Raiders, Street Profits, Angel Garza, and you have Andrade. But then you also have on the SmackDown product AJ Styles, Matt Riddle. You have the New Day. You have Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. You have Ruby Riott. You have Natalia. Apparently, at some point in time, you have one of my favorites is the Glow Princess herself. Wow, Naomi. Wow, I'm just Jay and Jimmy Uso to where they am seen. I don't know. Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, you have Miz, John Morrison. There are plenty of characters in this business that can actually propel it into the future. Again, we are only here to go towards the future of wrestling. And if you can't stand in the future, you are the past. Do you hear me, Vince? Do you hear me, Bruce Pritchard? Do you hear me, Triple H? You must get in the head of you must get in every head of character and say, listen, what are you here for? Because right now there are a multitude of people out there that do not have a job. And to me, watching Heath Slater pull what he did during the show should have enlightened every single character on the roster and go, man, kayfabe or not, Heath Slater really goes, that's not just a character, that's who I am. And at some point, these characters need to say, yo, fuck all that. This is who I am, and I'm targeted to the top, and nobody's going to get in my way. If that's the case, then I'm going to be here to watch, and you will have a career and I will have a career talking about how great you are. So don't you, as an ego wrestling community, don't you want somebody to talk about you? That is Ring Addicts, people. Pillar to post, turnbuckle to turnbuckle, corner to corner, off the top rope with a coup de grace. We're here to target in on the best in the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
MattAttack?
honestly, what was it, 5 years ago when Big Show was, you know, heel one week and then face the next, heel one, it was like back and forth every week. It was crazy. When they were doing that, I was basically like all set with Big Show. I was just like, they need to get rid of him now. They're ruining him, But
Yeah.
it's crazy. You go from being, what was he? He was like 22, 23 years old, and he was the giant, and nobody could stop this man. He was awesome, and now look at it. You've ruined the man. You've ruined him.
No. He's now a Netflix TV star.
He went from the
Oh,
big show to the big joke. That's
Big joke.
basically.
And no, he's not a big joke. He's a Netflix TV star. There's no joke in that. The Miz is a USA TV star.
Yeah, but
So I'm not going
yeah,
to put it aside for that. John
yeah,
Cena is a movie star. The Rock is a movie star.
in a wrestling aspect. He's gone from the big show to the big
yeah,
joke.
exactly. That's what I was trying to say too. His character in WWE has gone from giant monster to
Giant
big joke.
pansy.
I yield. I tag you in, MattAttack. Continue, sir.
Yes. So yes, after the United States Championship coronation and everything, Cedric Alexander and Ricochet come out to greet MVP and Bobby Lashley, and them saying that MVP should be the United States champion. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander asked for a tag team match, and they get a tag team match, but they didn't win. And MVP and Bobby Lashley get the win, and then later in the back, we see MVP talking with Cedric Alexander, and MVP basically trying to recruit Cedric Alexander to his, I guess he calls it the Hurt business, which I kind of like that. I do. I kind of think they're going in the right direction with that. So recruiting Cedric Alexander, not a bad thing neither. I think if they have Bobby Lashley, they have power. If they have Cedric Alexander, they have speed. I think Apollo Crews could have joined them if he wanted, because honestly, MVP and what he says, he may be a bullshit artist and everything and all that, but to be honest, the way MVP works,
he's right.
He's right. Apollo Crews would get to the top very easily with MVP.
He would have actually been one of the longest reigning champions, but look at what's happening. He went high risk, high reward, thinking that his body could withstand that type of brutal punishment. Nope. And here we are. Proof to testament. MVP is proving true to his word. And hell, hats off to even Heyman to telling Bobby Lashley on his way out, you need to tag up, you need to shove up with MVP. So thank you, Heyman, on your way out, giving a piece of knowledge and a piece of advice to the next. So Thank you. As a fan of the business, as a fan of the sheets, the beyond the ring, inside the ring, turnbuckle to turnbuckle, underneath the ropes, the apron, I'm a fan. Continue, MattAttack.
So then we go into another backstage segment with Andrade and Andrade, Zelina Vega, and Angel Garza. They're kind of like arguing a little bit, but then in comes Ric Flair and Randy Orton, and Ric Flair and Randy Orton just basically say, listen, if you're not gonna get along tonight and make it so Randy gets Big Show by himself, or it has a good opportunity at Big Show or whatever, then Randy's gonna beat the living crap out of him. And so they go. So they have the match, and it ends up being pretty good for the most part. But then it seemed as though Angel Garza and Andrade were disagreeing on a bunch of different things, and so Randy Orton yelled at them, and he took Angel Garza aside. I think he was calling it Angel Garza, and then they got back in the ring, and everything was good, and they were actually like doing really good, and Randy Orton ends up getting the RKO. 1, 2, 3.
And thank you. That's Randy Orton holding down his position as the number one uno without a title. Sometimes titles are irrelevant to the wrestling business, which a new fan has to understand that sometimes it's not always about titles. Sometimes the moniker is so important. Case in point, presently, I'm also a UFC fan since UFC 1, and sometimes you gotta be the when you're the baddest motherfucker, you're the BMF of a business. It isn't a spoken thing, but it is tangible. When people see you, they realize what type of person you are. Like a moniker Dean Ambrose picked up when he was in the WWE was a workhorse. To me, a workhorse is a title that you night in, night out can be depended on to bring about a level of enthusiasm, energy to propel a company forward into the future. That's something special and tangible to this business entirely from pillar to post. I swear to you, from behind the scenes, whomever is willing to stand there throughout this pandemic, beyond it, in front of the fans, through the television, to exert that level of energy and feel it from all fans, from all walks of life, and says, hey, we're here together. We're still a fan of this. We still love this. It's real to me, damn it. So pillar to post, turnbuckle to turnbuckle, off the top rope with an elbow drop. This is the truth. We are ring addicts. So shout out to all our fans, again and again and again. I'm going to say this is real to us. The stories, how they develop, this is our soap opera, our Sinatra, our Bronx Tale, our Casino, our Godfather. We want to know what's going to happen next, even if sometimes we end up with a Godfather 3, a piece of trash.
Yeah. Exactly.
Martin Scorsese, you must own that. Godfather 3 is a piece of trash.
Yeah, the
It's
first one is like
it's
honestly kind of my favorite, but the second one, I love the second
oh
one.
my gosh, the third one, man. The third one is a piece of trash, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
It's
agree.
bad.
I
It's
agree. I
bad.
agree. I
It's
just I,
bad.
I just say how like I love the first one, but the second one, how they go and they see what he was doing back in the day, back when he was like climbing the ranks and everything and getting his
My favorite part is Fredo finally getting his just due, but I digress. Fredo getting his just due is one of my favorite parts. But
I
let's not go even more gangster because I'll start talking about other things that I love in the mafioso film. Let's strictly stay inside the
yeah
wrestling ring.
yeah yeah.
Uh, so ding ding. Mouse, can you go run through how they can contact us? Questions, quandaries, concerns, anything, likes. I hate you. Send it all, and I will send you a woo right back at you.
You can email the podcast at ringaddictspod. That's ringaddictspod, P-O-D, at gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at ringaddictspod. You can join the Facebook group at www.facebook.com/groups/ringaddicts. If you're a walkie-talkie enthusiast, you can join us on Zello. The channel name is Ring Addicts. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify. And as always, our podcast is brought to you by and sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Download it on your phone's app store today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Please hate me. I relish you guys to hate what my opinions are, or if you like it, I just want to hear everything. Matt Attack, please continue on with the Raw show that we're completely dredging through. Thank you, Bruce Pitchard, on your writing, your esteemed show. Vince McMahon, you got no chance in hell for surviving the pandemic with your brutal ass. But continue.
So the Big Show and the Viking Raiders lose, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look here.
How about this?
Did we go through everything? Did we go through
I
everything?
think all we have left is Asuka and Bailey as the
Oh yes,
actual.
yes.
But before we go, I mean, other than this segment was probably the highlight of the night, and I guess that's what they based all their nut on. I mean, that's in my opinion. Uh, but I think more than anything beyond Vince McMahon and Mouse, I think the name of this should be "The cream will always rise to the top." In the words of Randy Macho Man Savage, the cream will always rise to the top.
That's a great promo. I love that promo. But yeah. So Asuka versus Bailey was a great match, great back and forth match. And Sasha was out there for Bailey, and Kairi Sane was out there for Asuka, and Nikki was she was out there at first, and then security had to take her out because she was like looking like she was going to beat the crap out of Bailey. So they took her out, and she somehow made it back in, but she was in the crowd, and she scared Bailey, and then Bailey turned around, and Asuka brought her back in the ring, doing the Asuka lock. But then Bailey got up out of that, and then Asuka got a kick, and then got the 1, 2, 3.
And Asuka redeeming herself against such a formidable opponent such as Bailey. It was, again, it tells you at the end of the day, regardless of what the writing is, the cream will always rise to the top.
Right.
So Vince, Bruce, Triple H, you can write whatever you want to write, but when the bell rings, you have my attention. When the bell rings, you will have my attention. And that's all I have for Raw. I wish the show was a little bit better. I mean, you have like 3 hours. I've been invested since I was about 7 years old. So you can't convince me on what I've seen with my own 2 eyes throughout these years. And that's coming from Blaise. So lie to me, Vince. Go ahead, lie to me, Vince. I'm here for it. And that's my last thought.
And we already talked about it earlier, but I just want to say the Why You Skateboarding award tonight goes.
We should have done that. Yes, thank you.
The Why You Skateboarding award goes to the United States Championship. I'm sorry, but I just don't like the way that title looks.
Goddamn skateboarders again.
I just don't like the way that title looks.
The Why You Skateboarding. Yeah, that is a winner, chicken dinner.
Yep.
And it makes sense that Apollo Crews is injured before he even accepts that title. And of course, you're going to take this horrendous title and put it on a black guy.
And Matt has a dedication he'd like to shout out as well. And then
the
outro.
That's true too. This episode is dedicated to Nicholas Ryan. He runs a group called it's called hold on,
DWW.
Well, no, he changed it because I don't know. Everybody was leaving his group, so he went and created a new group, and it's called DCW Locker Room.
Okay.
Or DCW, just DCW.
Word.
The locker room part that's for the messenger, but
okay.
But we're dedicating this episode to the head of that group. His name is Nicholas Ryan. He has COVID-19.
Oh man, get yourself healthy. Take some vitamins. I'll pray for you, and hopefully you're back up and running. We're gonna keep cheering for you, and you are here with us. Damn it, it's real to us. Damn it.
Definitely wishing him a speedy recovery from that.
Please recover. Please recover.
We're praying for you, man. We're praying for you.
All the doctors out there, the health surgeons, you are the best there is, the best there was, the best that ever will be in terms of taking care of us in our health. We thank you, all the doctors, nurses, medical staff, whatever have you. You guys have been doing an absolute phenomenal job. From myself, I have medical people in my family, and I thank you for all your services. So that was an amazing one, MattAttack and Mouse. Other than that, I think that Nicholas, we're
Ryan.
with you. Nicholas Ryan, we're with you. We're with you, homie.
We're with you,
Keep
buddy.
fighting. Keep fighting.
Keep fighting, man. Keep fighting.
Don't stay down for the 3 count. Don't stay. Lift your shoulder up on the 2.
Yep.
And sign us off, sir.
Recorded live from the Rantoul Street Studio in Beverly, Massachusetts, this was Ring Addicts, where we're wise about the ring. You can reach us at Ring Addicts Pod, that's Ring Addicts Pod, POD, @gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Ring Addicts Pod. You can follow the Facebook group, www.facebook.com/groups/Ring Addicts. You can join us on Zello. The Zello channel is Ring Addicts. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify. And as always, our podcast is sponsored by and brought to you by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Download it on your phone's app store today or go to anchor.fm to get started. For MattAttack and Blaise, I am Mouse. Everyone have a good night. We'll catch you on the flip.
Dig it, sucker!
We out, baby.
Woo!